Alright YouTube, what is up? It is Sato3860 once again, here with a 50 sub special versus my friend Vaps. And it seems this time I'm going to be using a Trick Room team. And so let's get this started, because it was a pretty long match as far as this went, but this team isn't very offensive in certain areas. So she's going to lead off with a Altaria, and I was fearing this thing was going to be like a Cotton Guard flamethrower set, so I set up my light screen. But it turns out she does Dragon Dance, and she gets a +2 now. So I'm going to set up my Reflect, or no, I'm going to set up Trick Room. Next turn I'm going to set up Reflect, so I can get in that easy boost in there. And so she went for the roost thinking I was going to Gyro Ball, but I do it this turn. Instead she goes for the Safeguard. So this is pretty much like my own Dragonite set, sort of. So I'm going to go into my Rampardos. This thing is a Choice Banded Rampardos. Brave Nature, Max Attack. So this Head Smash is going to knock the shit out of this Vaporeon. And it is a one-hit KO like I predicted. And now she is going to go into her Aggron, and I really don't want to stay in on this thing because Aggron is just a beast. So she goes for the Earthquake. I'm going to go on to my Uxie. And right here I'm going to do the Yawn, but I forgot Safeguard is still up. So she goes for the Ice Punch, and it doesn't really do much. So she goes back into her Aviator. I do Trick Room. And at this point, I am going to go for the Yawn, I believe. And yeah, I'm going to go for the Yawn. I believe she does the Roost again to take off all that damage from the Gyro Ball earlier. And right here, I'm thinking it's going to be really safe to set up some Stealth Rocks. But she does switch out to her Flygon, so I mean, it does work out for me. It's not as bad as I thought it would be. So this is pretty much going pretty well as far as I know. So I'm going to pull out the Yawn. I know this thing's probably going to U-turn out anyways, so but I really don't want to take that second chance of mispredicting. So she goes back into Aggron, and I'm thinking this thing is probably going to Head Smash in some sort of way. I know it's not. I'm not going to worry about Sturdy, but it does go for the Head Smash, and this is a fully defensive Uxie, and it almost kills me. So I'm thinking this thing is banded now from all that damage that it did. So I'm going to switch out and go back to Beltoll, take this Head Smash, and I do avoid it, so that's pretty nice for me. And so here comes the Infernape. And oh god, Infernape, I really don't want to deal with this. So I'm going to get out. I'm switching to Heatran because I know he can take anything right now with the Reflect up. And this is my Eruption Heatran. So I know this is going to hurt quite a bit. So I'm going to go for the Earth Power right here, since I know I can take the close combat, or whatever Infernape tries to throw out at me. I know this is going to be a for sure kill. So with this Infernape down, I feel pretty safe in this game now, aside from Aggron being Choice Banded, and the Metagross most likely. So she goes out to her Flygon again. I'm predicting the Earthquake, so I'm going to go straight into my Uxie, but I took a really big risk here because I didn't know if she was going to U-turn out or whatever. But it turns out she did do the Earthquake, so I'm pretty safe now. And right here I'm thinking, throwing out Yawn most likely. Yes. So I believe she's going to go for the Dragon Claw right now to just kill me off. But this Leftovers really helped me out here. And the Reflect wore off too, so I was getting pretty scared. And it doesn't kill me. I live by 7 HP, able to rest off all that damage. Feeling pretty good right now, knowing that Uxie can stay alive. Altaria shouldn't be too much of a problem, but it healing off kind of makes me bend backwards a little bit. I don't know. And now that this thing is asleep, I'm sure it has Natural Cure. But I thought she was going to switch, so I went into Heatran. But it turns out she stayed in the whole time. I mean, at least I got some Leftovers HP back from my Eruption. So I go back into my Rampardos, and she does Awake this turn. Good thing she didn't go for Dragon Claw, because that would pretty much hurt my Rampardos pretty bad. So I'm going to go for the Ice Punch right now, and she goes into Metagross. And I knew this wasn't going to do too much, but it did a good amount, I guess, for what it is. And I assume this thing was pretty bulky too, so I feared that a little bit. So I'm going to go back into Beltol, set up my trick room and reflect. I avoid the earthquake, so I'm pretty safe right here, I feel. This Bronzong really helped me out this battle. So she goes back into Dust Devil. I'm going to set up the reflect right here to boost up my defenses for the team. And she goes for the outrage. Not sure why. I mean, it does work for me, I guess, because I'm going to kill off this Flygon here. So I go for the Gyro Ball, and it does about half, maybe 50%, 45 or so, because it is a 3-hit KO. So pretty much it's just a little bit of stalling out the outrage and such with the reflect. I assume she just wanted me to get my reflect down a few turns after this Flygon was over, because this Flygon wasn't really helping her this match. So I switch out and go into my Boss Crow, thinking that she would maybe switch, but I guess not, but at least I still had the reflect up. This way I can get my Moxie boost if she doesn't switch, and I go for Sucker Punch. Does hit, so I'm happy for that. I get my +1, and here's where I kind of made my mistake of not paying attention. Because right here, I was going to go for like a hidden power, but it turns out I didn't notice that the trick room was up. So I was a little confused at first, and I ended up losing my Haunch Crow, so I was like, oh god, that was my pretty much one-way streak. So here comes Beltol, and he does not take that head smash well at all. Not at all. So at this point, she switches out because she wants that Aggron to live. Here comes the Altaria. I decided just maybe double switch just to get in on this. And I do get my little boost from HP again. Not really remembering why I switched into Heatran. I don't know, something hit me there, I guess. So I go into my Rampardos once again. So I'm going to end this Altaria once and for all. I'm assuming she thought that she could live the head smash if she was at full HP, so she decided to roost. I don't know if she knew I was banded or not, but that works for me because I'm going to Ice Punch this thing, and it is actually, I think it lived, right? Yeah, it lived of all things. I don't know how. Banded max attack Rampardos still doesn't kill an Altaria. Proves how bulky that thing is. And so here comes this Aggron again, and this is really getting annoying to me now, because I'm not going to be able to kill this thing easily if I don't have anything up. So I'm going to switch out, go into Beltol again, predicting an Earthquake. She does go for it again, thank goodness. And since I know this thing is choiced, I'm going to go for the Reflect once again. Thank God I had Stealth Rocks up because that gets rid of the Altaria. I went for Trick Room, not Reflect. But okay, it's one long battle. So here comes this Aggron again. I know I'm faster than this thing, so I'm going to use the chance to set up Reflect. And she goes for a Heavy Slam for some reason. I assume she was predicting me to go into Rampardos. Not sure why. But here I go with Heatran, because I know it's choice and it's not going to be able to do anything to me. And it doesn't, it almost tickles me. Actually recovered 10 HP off of that. And I don't know why I was thinking Eruption would kill. Maybe because of the low special defense. But no, this low HP doesn't really help me much. I think I was better off doing Earth Power. Actually, I know I was. And so she switches out, and this is where I do Earth Power to try and finish the Aggron off. But I only end up doing a good amount to Metagross. So this thing is actually extremely bulky to take everything so well from this Heatran. But I'm not too worried about it because I know I can take this thing out, but since Trick Room is over, I don't really want to risk anything. So I'm just going to Death Fodder my Heatran right here. And this is where I'm going to go into my Beltol again. Because everything just wears off this turn for some reason, not sure why. Guess that's just how things roll when I set up things. And so right here I'm going to set up Trick Room so I can get my Reflect down. because I really want to get rid of this Metagross and all of her other Pokemon. And so here's where I set up my Reflect, and she does another Meteor Mash, and it crits. And that kills my Beltool. That's all my good support right there. So now I only have my Rampardos, my Sleeping Uxie, and my Dusknoir. So I was unsure if she had the Bullet Punch, because if she did, I think I would have lost right here. But thank goodness she didn't use it, and I get off my Choice Banded Earthquake. So now I know I'm going to win this with only Aggron left. And I'm feeling pretty safe, so knowing that I'm slower than this thing, it's pretty much a good game. Good game, Vaps. See y'all next time.